Joseph, a young man blessed with prophetic dreams, was dearly loved by his father Jacob. Jacob's affection for Joseph was evident in the magnificent coat of many colors he bestowed upon him. This outward symbol of love, however, ignited a fire of jealousy in the hearts of Joseph's brothers. They saw Joseph's dreams, where the sun, moon, and stars bowed down to him, as a challenge to their birthright. Resentment festered within them, growing with each passing day. Joseph, unaware of the envy he had stirred, naively shared his dreams with his brothers. Instead of finding support and understanding, he was met with scorn and bitterness. Their jealousy, like a venomous serpent, coiled around their hearts, poisoning their thoughts. They plotted to strip Joseph of his coat, his dignity, and ultimately, his freedom. One fateful day, when Joseph was sent to check on his brothers as they tended their flocks, their resentment reached its peak. Seizing the opportunity, they stripped him of his cherished coat, a symbol of his father's love, and callously threw him into a deep, dark well. As Joseph cried out for mercy, his pleas were met with deaf ears and cold, uncaring hearts. His brothers, consumed by their jealousy, had abandoned him to his fate. Trapped in the depths of the well, Joseph found himself enveloped in darkness and despair. The rough stones scraped against his skin, and the air hung heavy with the stench of damp earth. Fear gnawed at his heart as he realized the gravity of his situation. His brothers, his own flesh and blood, had betrayed him. As the hours dragged on, hope flickered like a fading candle in the wind. He cried out for help, but his pleas were swallowed by the vast emptiness of the well. Loneliness pressed down on him, amplifying his fear and uncertainty. Yet even in the midst of his despair, a glimmer of faith ignited within him. He clung to the belief that God was with him, even in this dark and lonely place. The sound of approaching voices momentarily shattered the silence of the well. Joseph's hopes surged. Could it be his brothers returning to rescue him? But his hopes were quickly dashed as he realized it was a caravan of Ishmaelite traders, their camels laden with goods, making their way to Egypt. His brothers, seeing an opportunity to profit from their treachery, decided to sell Joseph into slavery. Joseph's heart sank as he was pulled from the well, not to freedom, but to a life of servitude. Bound and helpless, he was forced to join the caravan, leaving behind everything he knew and loved. The familiar landscape of Canaan faded into the distance, replaced by the harsh, unforgiving terrain of the desert. The journey to Egypt was long and arduous. Joseph endured scorching days under the relentless desert sun and shivered through bitterly cold nights. He was treated not as a human being but as a commodity, to be bought and sold at the whim of his masters. Yet even in the face of this adversity, his spirit remained unbroken. Upon reaching Egypt, Joseph was sold to Potiphar, the captain of Pharaoh's guard. Torn from his homeland, stripped of his identity, he was forced to adapt to a new language, a new culture, and the harsh realities of slavery. Despite the injustice he faced, Joseph resolved to make the best of his situation. He worked diligently and honestly, earning the trust and respect of those around him. Section 4. Tested by fire integrity in the face of temptation. Joseph's diligence and integrity did not go unnoticed. Potiphar, recognizing his exceptional qualities, placed him in charge of his entire household. Joseph, a slave who had been betrayed and sold, now found himself managing a wealthy and powerful Egyptian's estate. He proved to be a capable and trustworthy steward, bringing order and prosperity to Potiphar's household. However, Joseph's rise in Potiphar's household brought with it new challenges. Potiphar's wife, Zuleika, was captivated by Joseph's handsome features and charismatic personality. She attempted to seduce him, promising him power and position if he succumbed to her advances. But Joseph, a man of unwavering faith and moral conviction, refused to betray the trust Potiphar had placed in him. Zuleika, enraged by Joseph's rejection, accused him of assault. Potiphar, blinded by his wife's lies and his own anger, had Joseph thrown into prison. Once again, Joseph found himself a victim of injustice, his integrity and good deeds seemingly forgotten. Yet even in the depths of despair, he held on to his faith, believing that God had a plan for him. Section 5. Through trials to triumph, dreams and deliverance. In prison, Joseph faced yet another test of his character. He could have easily given in to despair and bitterness. Instead, he chose to remain faithful to God, offering comfort and guidance to his fellow prisoners. His reputation for wisdom and compassion spread, eventually reaching the ears of Pharaoh himself. Pharaoh, troubled by a series of vivid dreams, had heard of Joseph's ability to interpret dreams. Summoned from prison, Joseph listened intently as Pharaoh described his dreams of 7 healthy cows, followed by 7 sickly cows, and 7 full ears of grain followed by 7 withered ones. Joseph, guided by God's wisdom, interpreted the dreams as a warning of impending years of abundance, followed by years of famine. Impressed by Joseph's wisdom and insight, Pharaoh recognized him as a man touched by God. He appointed Joseph as his vizier, placing him in a position of power and authority second only to Pharaoh himself. Joseph, the Hebrew slave who had been betrayed and imprisoned, was now entrusted with the welfare of all of Egypt. The final chapter of Joseph's journey began as the years of famine struck the land just as he had predicted. Egypt, under Joseph's wise administration, was well prepared, but neighboring lands were not so fortunate. Among those suffering were Joseph's own brothers, who had come to Egypt seeking grain to survive. Unrecognized by them, Joseph faced a poignant choice: to exact revenge or offer mercy. Testing their character, Joseph orchestrated a series of trials, revealing their remorse and change of heart. Finally, unable to contain his emotions any longer, Joseph revealed his identity to his stunned brothers. With tears streaming down his face, he spoke words that would echo through the ages. "You intended to harm me, but God intended it for good to accomplish what is now being done, the saving of many lives." In that moment, Joseph forgave his brothers, embracing them with the love and compassion that had defined his journey. He invited his entire family to settle in Egypt, ensuring their survival and prosperity. The reunion was a testament to the power of forgiveness and redemption, transforming pain and betrayal into healing and hope. Joseph's story reminds us that even in the darkest of times, faith and integrity can lead to unimaginable blessings. His journey from a pit of despair to a pinnacle of power is a timeless tale of resilience, mercy, and the enduring strength of the human spirit. As Joseph's family thrived in their new home, the legacy of his forgiveness and wisdom continued to shine brightly, a beacon of light for generations to come. Finally, thank you for your attention and subscribe to our channel. Thank you.